The world may look like a dumpster fire at the moment. AI companies are battling over governance, nations grappling with digital currencies, social media platforms, and constant upheaval. It can all be seen as chaos. But what if all this disruption is paving the way to our greatest opportunity? Well, that is up to each and every one of us. The chaos we're seeing play out across multiple pillars in our culture can be seen as unruly, concerning, or even overwhelming. And conversations about AI replacing jobs and even industries, this isn't only a prediction, it's obvious it will shift the landscape of how we work and live. And this is just one disruption. And one school of thought is to fear this change, to avoid it, to pretend it's not happening, or to see it as horrible and unmanageable. But understanding chaos at the fundamental level, you can actually see it's a great time of opportunity. And it's coming straight for us now, not in 5 years or in 10 years. It's here now. And when you think of a fire in a forest, and at first glance, it looks like pure destruction, right? The fire, though, follows specific patterns. It burns away dead material. It releases seeds that need heat to sprout, and it creates space for new growth. The chaos of the fire is actually part of the natural renewal cycle. And these patterns show up everywhere in nature, in human society, and in business. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't have empathy or compassion for the chaos or those who are affected. It means that when a system reaches its limit, disruption occurs. What doesn't work falls away. Whether we want to desperately cling to the old and make it return back to where it was or not. This is the pattern we're seeing today. Old business models have reached and are reaching their limits. Disruption feels chaotic and destructive. And what doesn't serve us is falling away. And with that, new possibilities emerge and a better system is created. I'm sure you're familiar with the phrase, the only constant is change. And this is true. Yesterday was not the same as today. Tomorrow will be different than today. And the next day won't be the same either. But we often forget this fundamental truth when we're leading and running a company. We love predictability in business. We love proven systems that will absolutely deliver the revenue, the clients, the customers we're serving. And we love it when all goes smooth without obstacles. But chaos has a rhythm, it has a pattern, and it goes hand in hand with big results. It opens doors to even greater possibilities, ways of operating, ways of doing things that are even more powerful than what you've used in the past. This is why right now is a time of great opportunity. Not to just watch and see what unfolds, but for us to use it, to create with it, to spot the patterns forming even before the disruption happens. And chaos invites us to see it in this way and to use it now in our leadership and our businesses. Just like Kodak experienced. Kodak owned the photography industry for 100 years. And they actually, which you may not know, they actually invented the first digital camera in 1975. But they were making huge profits from film, from photo paper, from processing film and chemicals. They thought, why would anyone want digital photos when our film quality is so good? But there was also parallel a culture emerging. People began to value convenience and instant sharing over the perfect quality of film and photo paper, right? They wanted to see their photos immediately, not wait for development time and to even pay for that. They wanted to share right away. But Kodak couldn't see this shift because they were too focused on protecting their existing business. They thought they were in the film business when they were actually in the memory capturing business. And by the time they tried to adapt to digital, it was too late. A company who had been a leader in an industry for over 100 years, they employed 145,000 people. They filed them for bankruptcy in 2012. And meanwhile, Instagram, a company with just 13 employees, sold to Facebook that same year for $1 billion. I think we could say Kodak missed a massive opportunity, which ultimately led them to going out of business. And while the Kodak story is infamous, this wasn't and isn't an anomaly. We're seeing traditional power structures being rejected and called into balance due to the shifts in culture. We're seeing how we work and lead requiring a brand new philosophy and principles that just aren't accomplished through improving what has been or following a shiny new tactic. And if you look at evolution or change theory, chaos is actually a signal. It's a signal that says we're in a natural process of evolution. Just like how a flock of birds naturally coordinate without a leader, or how your body heals a cut without conscious direction. We're going through our own natural reorganization. And we're not just watching systems evolve and acting as innocent bystanders, as leaders. That is not what leaders do, right? Leaders participate in the redesign. And we're influencing this. Cultures influencing this reorg through our own individual and collective growth, in the expansion of our worldviews, in the shifts in our values. What we see as ways of operating and how we've been operating for hundreds of years are moving into abundance centered systems and becoming reflective of natural, true power. As an example, we're seeing the emergence of decentralized organizations where value flows to contributors. Circular economy initiatives are replacing extractive models for regenerative ones. And while those are just some of the shifts, really our job as leaders is to understand these emerging patterns and those who operate and lead in these new models have unprecedented opportunity to build and grow exponential businesses. I work with many of these visionary leaders and founders, and they all have a bold vision. They see the bigger picture, yet they're still operating in outdated, rapidly declining business and leadership models. Ultimately, it's slowing down their momentum, and their results are incremental at best. They know there's another way, but they can't put their finger on how or what it looks like. And just last month, one of my dear clients created $1.7 million in 30 days by embracing chaos and operating in abundance based leadership and systems. In all of their previous launches and years, they had always maxed out at 600K. And when they not only shifted what they were doing, but how they were thinking and how they were thinking about what their value is and how they lead and show up, they more than doubled their revenue. So, what will you do with chaos? Large scale change is happening whether you believe it or not. It is happening whether you embrace it or not. And it is happening whether you like it or not. So the choice really is, will you attempt and continually attempt to keep up and stay ahead? Or will you actualize your bold vision and grow your business exponentially? I know I chose the latter. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you in the next episode.